Hello everyone, welcome to the Dark Souls New Guy walkthrough, episode 9. We're going to tackle the Catacombs of Carthus in this episode. And I just finished beating the Dancer in 8.5. And I'm going to use those souls to level up probably my health a little bit more to get it up to close to 40. Because once I get to 40 then I can start dealing with other stuff. The Soul of the Dancer can get you Soothing Sunlight or the Dancer's Swords. Soothing Sunlight is okay, but not for this build. And, it must like despawn him and respawn him every time we look at him, because his skirt keeps bouncing. It's really distracting. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm just going to use the soul for souls, and maybe I can get like 3 levels out of that.
Welcome host people. Very well then taken.
Ooh, 4 levels. Nice. So we're up to 40 on our health, and now I don't need to level that up anymore. So now I can focus on either damage or endurance.
Ah, I know you. Need some time. I just dropped in to see how she's getting on. Now, what are you playing? This cesspool of doddering old folk and degenerates.
Silver tongue, this guy.
Be better. She must fit in perfectly here. This place is good.
Alright, so Silver Tongue Devil showed up to say mean things about my friends. What a jerk. Alright, so you're going to go to the Abyss Watcher's Bonfire, and then that's going to take you into the first part of the cathedral, not the cathedral, the Catacombs of Carthus. So there's some cool stuff over here. You're going to get a pretty good pyromancy tome. 2 of them, I think. Yeah, you get the Grey Warden pyromancy tome, and then you get the Carthus pyromancy tome here, so that's pretty good. And then from here you're gonna have access to the Smoldering Lake, and it's a pretty quick run over to the Smoldering Lake. You can take on the old Demon King and get basically the best pyromancy in the game for PvE, which is Chaos Bed Vestiges. You kill him and use his soul to transpose it, and it does a shit ton of damage, and it's fast. And that's the thing about it that I like the most, is that it's really fast, especially when you have like the Sage's Ring. Nice. So those guys, they tumble along and they turn invisible and stuff. And luckily we do enough damage to these skeletons that they stagger and fall apart. The skeletons can, they can parry you, and they can backstab you, and they can riposte you and stuff. So the skeletons can be real bastards, and sometimes they don't stay dead, so that can be really, really annoying. I wonder if I can get them. Yep. Ooh, yeah, see how I said about they just don't stay dead. And having a blessed weapon doesn't change that in this one, which is kind of a bummer. I thought that was a cool like feature in the first one. So when they're doing this, they're gonna parry you, that stance. If you jump attack, then it doesn't really matter, because they can't. Then you can't hit them when they're on the ground, so that's all well and good. But yeah, when you see them turn their falchion sideways, they're gonna parry you. So just don't hit them with a normal attack, or just wait. They'll get aggressive. They're like stupidly aggressive. So just kind of bide your time and just let them make the first move. Right over here. Alright. So watch out on the floor for traps like this one. There's a bunch of them. You can use them to kill enemies too, so that's not always a bad thing. You can just pay attention. Usually people will leave messages, but sometimes you just won't notice them until it's too late. So right over here is one of these like rogue, yeah, you get these rogue skeletons. These guys can be a real bastard because they are fast and they dodge, and I'm pretty sure they have, they do bleed to you. Also there's that archer, which I was actually just about to mention. So that archway over there, the window, the archer can get you. I might need to start leveling up my damage. Yep, so they're really dodgy, and they drop large titanite shards and other cool stuff. But this guy right here, that archer, yeah, he's a bastard. But right here is an invisible wall, or an illusory wall, because it's certainly visible. And this is going to be your, oh, you can't hit him. Yep, so this is going to be your Carthus pyromancy tome. So that's going to get you your Carthus flame arc and other cool pyromancies. And then you can kill this guy right here, which is great because he's an asshole. And that's a cliff. I don't think there's any other shortcuts or anything over here. Does he come back to life? Oh well. Probably not. Sometimes their bones will do really weird shit if they're gonna come back to life, so you can kinda tell that way. And you get a sharp gem. So I'll just top off and get my Lloyd's ring. Lloyd's sword ring going. So this dude has Murakumo, I think. It's a pretty beastly weapon. Luckily I can just spam him to death. Let's try two-handing it since I'm not like parrying anyway. I like the curved great swords. I think they look super cool, and some of them are much better now that they have the patches. I think the Exile greatsword with a heavy gem is like the highest damaging weapon in the game right now, which is pretty neat. I like it better than the Foom Ultra Greatsword because that thing's kind of like, I mean, it's obnoxious. I like big fuck off weapons, but it's giant curved sword is also pretty sweet. So right over here you get this little ambush going on. And alright, cool. I don't know if they all stay dead. I feel like some of them come back. It's always good to just check, because if they come back you can really set yourself up in a shit situation. And later on, the ones that come back, they'll come back 2 and 3 times. So right here we got Henri.
Oh, hello. How very fortunate. Have you seen my companion, Horace? To my shame, I was snared by a trap and we've become separated. I've not been able to... Yes, I see. Horribly. Oh, if you...
So basically just tell him no, tell her no, him, her, it, she, we, whatever they happen to be in your playthrough. And that continues her on her little storyline. And right there's a Twinkling Titanite and a blood red moss clump, which I don't often have the time to use a blood red moss clump when my bleed's building up, because usually it's one of those things where it's like 0 to 100 really quickly. So right over here there's a skeleton boulder ball thing, and it goes up and down. It just goes back and forth until it knocks you off or you kill the thing that's making it move around. And the thing that is making it move around is right around this corner over here. It took me a while to find it the first time. So basically what you want to do is just kind of hang out right here and block, so that way you don't get staggered into its path. And then right around this corner right here, this bastard with the goddamn witch hat. That's the reason that that boulder is coming along. So right over here, he's going to come, and then it'll break on that gate. Once it breaks on that gate, it drops an undead bone shard, which is pretty cool. I wonder if I can kick him. Aha! satisfaction. This guy, man, these guys want me today. Alright, so it's going to be your first major obstacle. If you're going to get invaded, a lot of times the invaders over here are going to want to try to use that to their advantage. But right there's an undead bone shard, and that's pretty cool. And then the second boulder that you break, there's a crab in it for some fucking reason. It's this little stupid crab. I'm sure it's just a joke. And then you get these 3 skeletons right here, and this frickin' jerk that throws these pots that hit you with those, like, I don't know, spirit, dark matter thing. And he's just gonna, like, appear up. Oh no, well, usually it doesn't even animate him standing back up. He just fucking appears attacking you, and you're like, this is dumb. It happens a lot. So this guy you want to watch out for, because he's a piece of shit. And I think he's going to come back again. We'll see. Basically this whole area, you're just going to want to, when you methodically clear it, just make sure that what you kill stays dead, because it doesn't always stay dead and it's super obnoxious. Alright, so in this area you want to watch out for pots that have this like leather binding on them. Right, I'm trying to stab it, but I'm bad at it. So right there, when you break them, those come out, and they, the little pursuer deals, they come out and jack you up. So right over here is, I'm sure you could figure, is a trap full of those things. And there's a pressure pad right here. When you hit the pressure pad, it shoots arrows, and a million of those things come out, and they try to kill you. But if you take the path that I took, you do not have to worry. You get the Carthus milk ring, which is the, I think it's the one that gives you the dexterity and makes you invisible when you roll. So it looks super sweet. It doesn't really do anything other than that. It gives you like 3 dex and makes you look cool when you roll. Yes. The other one, the bloodring, increases the number of iframes you have when you roll, and it can be pretty damn ridiculous if people know how to use it right. So right here, try to bait this stupid thing. That sucks. That worked out very poorly. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run away over here, drink my goods, and try to get this jerk in a, oh, they go through walls? Of course they do. Of course they go through corners. Thank you, Dark Souls. Alright, so just, maybe I can get these guys. So this dude definitely comes back alive, I remember that. Like I said, their skeletons do like really weird shit, because they don't want to like fall apart entirely, because I guess they need to be a certain way for them to animate back in. So you can usually tell when something's going to come back to life, because its skeleton just does dumb stuff. It doesn't fall apart in like normal ways, and doesn't try to like hang out with the geometry of the level. Alright. Oh, that guy. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Come on. I don't know if he's gonna come back up. So there's a bonfire right near here, so pretty much, you know, it's not a big deal for me to have used that Estus, even though like I have that ring on. It makes the it heal a lot more. Yeah, so these guys have those rings on. They're pretty cool looking when they roll. And I was just two-handing it because I'm not parrying these guys anyway, and I could use the hyper armor more than likely. I wonder if I can hit him. Almost. Alright, you should be able to get him now. Nice. That does a freaking ton of damage to him. It's nice to have the traps work for you sometimes. Is that the Carthus curved sword? Man, I spent so much time farming for this fucking thing before, and it just drops on this character that I'm probably not going to use it for. But the Carthus curved sword was super duper good. It still is pretty good, but it basically had everything that a curved sword could want. It had bleed, it was very fast, I mean, it had like stupid range, I'm sure it still does, but they nerfed the damage, I think. Or the bleed build or something, where people are really down on it now. It's probably like an actual balanced weapon, so people are like, oh, I don't want it. So right here is the bonfire, and if you're paying attention, this right here is where the that boulder would break, and that witch right up. See, it's the witch's body right above my head. So hang out at the bonfire, get my Estus back, because there's no reason not to. I'm actually going to, yeah, I don't have a password on, so I must be over leveled for this area if I don't see anybody. So you can run down there, chase that thing, and beat it, but I don't recommend it. I almost never beat it, so I'm just gonna run down and kill these rats on my own. But if you do run down, and the rats will usually get hit, all of them, all these little ones at least, and that's handy because then you don't have to deal with them. This stupid giant rat right here. Oh my god, rats. Get that hyper armor going. Alright, so you can go down this way, and there's a few things, and some bone wheel skeletons, which are bastards, and then you can go this way, and you will have the first encounter with Night Slayer Torsig. He should appear right at the top of these stairs, right about, yep, there we go. And I don't know if you can still backstab. Nope. Nope. So he's got the Foom Ultra Greatsword. You definitely do not want to get hit with this thing when he's two-handing it, because he hits like a fucking truck. Ow. I think when he's one-handing it, I can parry. Oh, we're not going to play that game right now, though. So basically, I'm just going to wait for him to block and try to just shield break him. Nope. Man. Blocking with the weapon, last second. But because I have so much freaking health, he's actually not that bad. He probably would have killed me already if I was doing like a normal, don't get a ton of health build. Oh. Right there. Should be able to... Damn. This thing is just not as long as it looks. That's gonna hurt. And it's slow. Come on, man. My spacing is piss poor with this weapon. I wonder if it has more range when it's one-handed. I feel like it might. Alright, and that's him. You get the My Thanks gesture and the Night Slayer ring. The Night Slayer ring makes you do more damage to people's guards when they're blocking your weapon. So over here you got all these slimes on the ceiling. They're going to want to drop down and do dumb shit to you. So usually they're going to be on these items over here. What I recommend doing over here is just kind of making your way. The bone wheel shields are not nearly as obnoxious as they were in the first one. Don't get me, don't get me. Nice. So there's a trap right there. I'm playing it fast and loose right now because I just I don't find this area super interesting, so I just am running through it. Yeah, the bone wheel shields are not as brutal as they were in the first Dark Souls, or probably the second one too. I never ran into them in the second one. I don't even know if they are a thing. But they won't even chase you that far, and yeah, they're just not that crazy. So this next area right here, I recommend going up this way, right after we kill this jerk. Oh, I should probably get my hyper armor. So I'm two-handing it, so I get hyper armor, because I'm probably going to end up trading with him, because he hits quicker than me. Alright. Give me a kukri. Alright, so right over here is an invisible wall. that you would normally be able to hit on your way out, but because I've played this, I know it's here, and you can sneak your way up here and deal with these guys in a different order than what was maybe initially intended. Or you can skip the entire area and get just the good loot, which is right over here. The Grave Warden's Ashes, so it's not the Grave Warden's Pyromancy tome like I thought it was. Oh, he comes back to life because, you know, he's an asshole. Alright, alright. Oh, he's gonna make me bleed. God damn, Concrease. Alright. It almost made me bleed. Glad I noticed that. Use it, whatever. Haha. So, and you can come this way. I think there's another large titanite shard. There's a pretty good bit of loot right here. The large shards are... So there's that stupid witch that's making the boulder go. So I'm going to kill him. And I'm going to avoid that arrow. Oh, he's going to run away because... Yeah, that's a goofy run animation. So this dude leads you into an ambush with that other one. Alright. Alright. Playing real sloppy right now. Mostly because I'm just like, whatever. It's late, so... I have a ton of health. It lets you, you know... having a ton of health lets you play sloppy. Which is perfect for me right now because it's late and I'm just couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd try to knock out an episode, and hopefully the live commentary works, even though this microphone's not optimal yet. I need to really work on figuring out how to boost the levels so I don't sound like I'm 5 miles away or talking from across the room. Because this thing is like almost pressing up against my chin, and it needs to be that low so I'm not breathing into it like, you know, I don't know how I was doing in the other one with my nose. So when you go this way, there's a crystal lizard right over here, so you could be in a running attack on him, flip him over, stab him. I don't know what it is. A fire gem. Pretty useless stuff. And then you get this guy right here. I think if I do it right. Haha. So down there is a smoldering lake, and our friend Horace is down there. And right up there is Henri. So she's pretty close to him, but she's not close enough. So she's not going to find him. You go this way, and there's a lot of skeletons on the floor. And it's an ambush. That's weird. That's good stuff. So these guys will start reanimating, and they will chase you across that bridge, and the bridge will break if you hit it. So I'm going to run up this way, take a right here, and I'm going to talk to Henri and just really, really quickly exhaust all our dialogue options. Alright, so now the skeletons are coming. You do not want to fall off the cliff right here, like I almost just did. And then you can smack this right here, and any skeletons that would be chasing you will fall to their death. Alrighty. So now, this bridge turns into a ladder, and down there is a smoldering lake. But I'm not going to go to the smoldering lake yet. I'm going to bone over to the bonfire, because I can't actually go back without boning, and I'm just going to run straight to the boss fight, because I would like to have all my Estus for this. Not because Wolnir is like a super hard boss, but the past 2 times I fought Wolnir and I was like playing with friends, or just being like do, you know, just not taking him seriously. He actually fucking spanked me, which is like crazy because he is just not a tough boss typically. Like he's a gimmick fight, and his gimmick is not that strong. Basically, he's got these bracelets. He's got 3 bracelets. They glow. You have to be pretty not observant to not try to hit those things, because they're like on one of the few spots that you can actually hit them. All right, and yeah, when you break all 3 of them, he takes a boatload of damage and he dies, and it's like pretty much the only way to kill him because he has like just gross amounts of health. And yeah, so I mean, I'm sure you can kill him with just damage, and good for you if you do, but that's not the life I'm living. So you touch this chalice, you get this super cool cutscene. I guess he used to drink from the skulls of his enemies, or maybe that's his like brother's skull or some shit. I don't know how he lives. So you get sucked into the abyss with Wolnir, and I guess the lore reasons, the lore behind his bracelets are like this, like the last things that are keeping him sane. And then you break him, and then he goes into like eternal darkness and madness. It's really sad, actually. Most of these things are sad. So here you are in the abyss, and ooh, a shiny. So you wait a minute. What the fuck is that thing? Oh, anglerfish. Alright, so with this dude, what you want to do is not get bitch slapped, because he keeps his pimp hand relatively strong. But you want to watch out for this throw up attack. You stay the hell away from him when he does that. But you want to break his right, your left bracelet. So the one that has just the one bracelet. Mostly because he keeps that one the furthest back, and it is just a pain in the ass to hit it. So you want to break it early on before he's very aggressive. Man, he is just doing nothing but crawling up and throwing up. Oh. Man, we are already at this wall. Shit. Alright, I need to start hitting this dude, because he is gonna... So, when he sits still, it's not a bad fight. Oh, 96. Very good. Alright, vertical attacking. Well, this is going very well, so I can't imagine that you're going to have any worse of a time with this dude than I am right now. Because this is probably the most aggressive I've seen him, and I just, for some reason, cannot hit this dude's bracelet. Damn your cursed freaking long-ass arms. Stupid-ass long fingernails. I hope this shit doesn't hurt me. Alright. This damn weapon just doesn't... I don't even know what the hell he's doing right now. I've never seen this. I need to break his shit, like, fast. Alright, cool. So, as you can see, he summons skeletons. That's not gonna piss me off. So, 5,000 damage for that one. He's drawing his sword now. So this is why, like, in the second phase, you definitely don't want him to have his arm, because when he's drawn that sword, you just have really no hope of hitting it, because he's swinging it around and it's way up high. So he can hit his own skeletons, which is man, there's a lot of them. I've never had skeletons in this fight. This is pretty interesting. Oh, he's throwing up. Shit, I gotta get out of here. Oh god, don't hit me. Alright. Come on, you. Almost there. There we go. And that's it. That's the boss fight. That was actually a really... I wonder if I can chase him down. Oh, he goes way too fast. So, that's High Lord Wolnir. That went really poorly. That was probably one of... that was a poor fight. I did not do very well. He did a lot of things that kept his bracelets away from me. And... yeah. So, that's pretty much not worst case scenario because I didn't die, but because I have so much health, you know, I have a lot of wiggle room. So, moral of the story, HP equal good. So, you get the soul of High Lord Wolnir, light this bonfire, and you run up here to probably the coolest view in the game. I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, awesome. This is just excellent. Like, look at it. It's so good. It's so good. You get the moon. You look down there, you can go there. Those are enemies. That's like, you're going to all these cool places. And then you get this wall, and that wall is, it will stop you if you do not have the small doll. But that's pretty much going to be this episode. I'm just going to go level up a few times and probably get rid of his soul because, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use it for his sword. I think the sword that you get, it's like his holy sword, which did get a boost, I think, in the most recent one, because I did see a few people using it. You get Black Serpent. That's usually the thing people pick, because that pyromancy is okay. It's not the best, but it's like, it's a tool in a toolbox. And then you get Wolnir's holy sword, and both of them are free, so they don't cost any extra souls. But Black Serpent's one of those things that if people don't know, and this is not like a good strategy, I wouldn't recommend doing it, because I like to assume that everybody I'm playing with or playing against is better than me. So this is like not something that would usually work on me, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. But if you hit people with Black Serpent, they're stunned long enough that you can hit them with a Chaos Bed Vestiges, which is there's going to be a freaking ton of damage, because that's going to be one of your higher damaging spells. And you need to like be able to cast it fast, so you need to have, you know, probably a Sage Ring on at the very least, or some pretty good decks to actually do that fast enough. But you know, it's a thing that, you know, you can do in PvP. Like I said, it's not my favorite thing to do, or it's not something that I do very often. When I'm playing PvP, I don't even have Chaos Bed Vestiges attuned, honestly. It's just not worth it. It barely ever hits. Usually I'm going to be rolling around with, like, yeah, I need damage. So I'm going to get my Dexterity up to 40, and then I'm going to get my, sorry about that, I'm going to get my Dexterity up to 40, and then I'm going to get my Strength up to 27. And that should give me the equivalent of 40-40 when I'm two-handing, because when you two-hand, you multiply by 1.5 your strength, but you don't get a multiply, you don't get a bonus to dex for two-handing, so that's why I get dex up first, because that's the one that, at a certain point you get diminishing returns on the two-handing for the strength, where the dex you do not, all the way up to 40. And yeah, so that's the strategy there. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this live commentary worked and it doesn't sound like crap. And I'll see you next time. Bye.